dark circles under her eyes even more shadowed than usual. Her face is washed free of her usual makeup, and her fading lavender-colored hair is pulled up into a haphazard bun. "Oh my God, you're awake!" She sniffles, and her hand clenches into the plain white sheets tucked into the side of the hospital mattress. Her upper arm is wrapped in bandages. "Are you in pain? Do you need anything? Want me to call the nurse?" "Water," I rasp, lifting a hand as if a glass will magically appear if I just reach for it. "Of course." Riley disappears out of my line of vision for a brief moment, and I hear the sounds of a door opening and closing and a tap running. When she comes back, she's got a plastic cup in her grip, filled halfway. "You need to be careful," she says, shifting onto the mattress and placing a hand behind my neck as she helps me sit up. It hurts to fucking move, but I need the fucking water. "Do you remember what happened?" she asks. It's a little fuzzy when I think about it, but when I try to recall the memories of how I ended up here, it's interrupted by that weird-ass dream I had. The car. A Dean who wasn't actually Dean. The sun coming up, and then... nothing. "Avalon?" I blink, realizing I've finished the cup she's given me, and she's sitting there, staring at me as if waiting for a response. Wait, she is waiting for a response. But instead of answering her question, I ask one of my own. "Where's Dean?" Riley pulls her hand back and lets me rest back on the pillow. Her lips pinch down and she glances to the side. My head turns, eyes following the direction of hers. As soon as I see him, the breath rushes out of my chest. Dean is on his back with bandages peeking out of the hospital gown he's wearing. The same kind I am. The monitors on the other side of the second bed in the room beep with consistency, letting me know that the one person on the face of this earth that I need, the one person I can't live without, is still breathing. His heart is still beating. I don't even realize I'm crying until the sight of him becomes blurry. "Ava." Riley's hand finds mine over the sheets. "Ava, he's okay. He's just resting. He hasn't woken up yet, but the doctors said he's out of the danger zone now." It's good to hear that. It eases something inside of me, but now that the dam has opened, I can't seem to stop these tears. Her fingers, cold and thin as they are, feel so strong in my grip. I squeeze until I know I'm probably hurting her, but Riley doesn't say anything. She doesn't flinch away from my fear or the bite of my nails. In fact, she squeezes back, as if to let me know without using her words that she's here, that I'm here, and so is Dean. We're alive. We made it. It's over. The rush of relief is both euphoric and exhausting. I curl towards her as her free hand lifts up and touches my back. I don't know how long I lay like that, with my head half in her lap as she rubs my back, but it reminds me of a long-ago memory, something I'd forgotten until just now. I'd been so fucking young. 3? Maybe 4? It's one of my first memories. I'd been sick to my stomach, puking, shaking, and crying. My skin had been cold one minute, hot the next, and all throughout, I thought I was going to die. Patricia had never come to see me. She'd ignored my existence even then, but sometime in the middle of the night, a cool hand had touched my feverish forehead. No assurances had been spoken, but I'd felt her tears as she'd lifted me into her hole-riddled arms and held me, rubbing my back just as Riley does now. And just before I'd fallen back into my delirious slumber, I'd heard my mother's voice. "I'm so sorry," she'd whispered to me, but it wasn't my name she'd said. It wasn't me she was apologizing to. It was him, my father. It was the one and only time I think she'd ever hugged me. But it was there. It's as real to me as the present is now. Riley holds me and lets me cry on her for a long time. How long, I don't know, because eventually I fall back asleep like that, curling into her, feeling her fingers against my spine, and despite the place and the pain in my chest, feeling safer than I've ever felt in my entire life. When next I wake, the darkness in the room has lightened a bit and Riley's gone. This time she's replaced with another familiar face. "Abel," I croak, groaning when it appears my throat's gone dry again. He jerks up from the chair he'd been dozing in and flashes a look between Dean and me as if he couldn't recognize the tone of my voice and isn't sure which of us had called for him. When he sees my eyes open, he nearly jumps on me. "Gently," I say quickly when it looks like he might pounce. He pauses at the side of my bed and then lowers down. His palm presses into the mattress, pushing it down as he hovers over me, his face drawn tight. "Ava, fuck, Jesus, Ava, we almost—" He bites his lip and then releases a slow, shuddering breath. "We almost lost both of you." I figured. That dream in the back of my mind, the Mustang, the fake Dean, I'd died, or almost had. That much was clear. I always thought that those hallucinations people had right before they died were all bullshit, but apparently not. There hadn't been a white light, but the sun rising. It had felt warm. "What happened?" I ask, my voice croaking. "Where's Riley?" Abel gently turns and scoots his ass onto the mattress, and I push away from him to give him some room, wincing when a few of the cords attached to my arm pull tight. He curses and adjusts, pulling me back so that they ease up, and then shifts both of us until he's resting back against the headboard, and I'm half draped over his lap. "Riley's getting checked out by the doctor." He answers my second question first. "Her arm?" I ask. "She was shot?" "It's just a graze. She'll be fine," he assures me. "And everything else?" I prompt. "Our dads are dead," he begins. "You're safe. That's the most important thing. Dean's father was out of town taking care of something, and they decided to act while he was away." I nod. It's over. I lay against him for a moment, relishing in that knowledge. I'm fucking tired, sore as hell, and hooked up to an ungodly amount of machines. But it's all fucking over. Finally. "Wait," I say, looking up at him. "How did you guys—" I don't know exactly how to ask. "Cover it up?" he guesses. I nod. He inhales. "We took a note from your book," he says. "We set the house on fire as well as their bodies. Dean's father is handling the rest. As far as the media is concerned, Elric Smalls and Lionel Fraser were visiting an old friend's house that had been unoccupied for years. The electricity running through the house shorted, caused a fire, and exploded the building while they were inside." "And Ace?" I ask. "Elric sent him upstairs after you guys." "We didn't see him," Abel replied. "He must have gotten away then." I think back to Elric's words just before Ace had left. It almost sounded like Ace was only working for them to keep someone else safe. Who, though? Abel's hand squeezes my arm lightly, the warmth of his palm almost like fire against my cold skin. My nose twitches. The scent of bleach and medicine is so heavy that it's a relief to turn my face into his side and inhale his cologne. The only thing that'd make this better is if it were Dean laying by my side. "Can you help me?" I ask. Abel stops squeezing and pulls away slightly. "Of course," he says immediately. "What's wrong? Are you in pain? Do you need me to call the nurse?" I shake my head. "No, I just want—" I gesture lamely to the other side of the room where Dean lays. Abel's head turns up and follows the direction of my hand before a light of understanding enters his eyes. When he looks back at me, his face softens. "You can't get up right now," he replies, "but I think I can pull something together if you give me some time." I reach down and touch his hand. Without hesitation, he flips it over and laces his fingers with mine, lifting it and kissing my bruised knuckles. "Thank you, front man," I say. "Any time, princess." As Abel leaves the room to go put together whatever he's planning, he's passed in the doorway by a giant familiar figure. I smile as Brax takes up a stance at the end of my bed. "Heard you were awake," he rumbles. "Yeah," I reply, "and hurting like a bitch." He doesn't crack a smile. I tilt my head to the side. "You good, psycho boy?" I ask. Braxton crosses his arms and lowers his head until his chin is almost to his chest. After a moment of deep, slow breaths, he shakes his head. "Not even a fucking little bit, savage girl," he replies. I hold out a hand. "Wanna talk about it?" He takes one look at my hand, and then, after what feels like eternity, he nods and circles the bed. It almost makes me laugh how easily he slides into bed with me, taking up Abel's vacated position. It's nice. It's sweet. It feels like I'm holding my family, but as I turn my cheek and take another long look at the man across the room, it doesn't feel like enough.
49. Dean. There's a heavy weight on my chest, like a massive fucking boulder is sitting right on my sternum. My eyelids flicker. I'd bet anything in the fucking world those assholes, Brax and Abel, have pulled some dumbass prank on me. My head's pounding. I don't normally get so fucking drunk, but it's hard to remember how I got here. When I finally manage to crack open my eyes, however, and I see the wash of dark, inky, almost black hair laying across my chest, the memories come flooding back. The Havers fire, the Mason estate, Avalon, Elric Smalls, the gunshot. It looks like I'm still alive, at least, and if Avalon is here, then so is she. I flex my fingers and reach up, ignoring the tugging of cords wrapped around my arms and the pain that shoots through me. The need to touch her is too strong. The pain is nothing. Her head pops up, and she looks up at me, her eyes widening. "You're awake." She breathes the words as if she can't fucking believe it, and then before I can say anything, she leans up and wraps her arms around my neck and kisses me. Shit, yeah. This is the best fucking way to wake up, even if I'm strapped to a goddamn hospital bed. My dick jumps beneath the plasticky gown I'm dressed in, pressing insistently upward. Yeah, buddy, I think. I want her too. And as much as I want to roll her over, push her legs apart, and sink into heaven, that weight is still there. The pain, while temporarily forgotten, comes roaring back, and I break off the kiss with a low groan. Pathetic. Shit. Sorry. Avalon pulls away, panting. Don't, I say gruffly, ever apologize for waking me up like that, baby. I scrub a hand down my sore face and release a breath. How are you feeling? She asks. I chuckle. How does she think I feel? Like someone shot me in the chest, I reply. Her lips turn down into a scowl. I'm fucking serious, Dean, she snaps. Do I need to call the nurse? What? My eyes scan the room, noting that 2 hospital beds have been pushed together to make a much larger one, and on either side are a line of random-ass machines. Why would you do that? You call them, they're going to come in here and drug me up again. Do you need it? She asks. I shoot her a dark look. Do I look like I need it? She blinks innocently back at me. Do you really want me to tell you how shitty you look right now? She replies. Brat. I look shitty, huh? I grin as I palm the side of her hip. You sure were excited about jumping a guy who looks as shitty as I do. Her beautiful blue-gray eyes roll. Please, she mutters. Please what, baby? I inquire, sliding my hand up her side, pushing the t-shirt she's wearing up past the waistband of her pants until I can feel the smooth, soft skin underneath. Avalon purses her lips, reaches down, and pinches my side. Fucking hard. Fuck! I snap, jerking away, and that too sends a bolt of agony up my chest. What the hell was that for? I demand, even as I try to hide how much it actually hurt. For being a dipshit, she snaps. You're in no condition to do shit right now, much less be starting anything. I groan and cup the side where she pinched me, but if she feels any remorse, she sure as fuck isn't showing it. You're hurting an injured man, I reply. Don't you feel anything?" Annoyed, she deadpans. "Well, if you're not going to do anything, why aren't you in your own damn bed?" I ask. "And why the hell are you wearing real clothes while I'm stuck in this shit?" I gesture down to my hospital gown. She shrugs. "I woke up first and asked Abel and Braxton to bring me some clothes," she answers. "They're here?" I ask, turning my head towards the doorway, but no one appears. "Yeah, somewhere. Probably grabbing coffee. I doubt it's fun watching two people sleep." I groan and reach for her, ignoring the tugs and little pains as I yank her down to my level, against my chest. "Shh." I hush her by cupping my palm over her mouth as I settle back even further into the mattress and cut off her protests. The agony in my chest feels like a red-hot poker, and it takes everything in me not to show it. "Can we just relax, baby?" I ask. "Please. I'm tired." Her hands pause over my sides. "Are you sure you're okay, Dean?" I close my eyes and breathe through my nose. "I'm alive," I tell her, when I really didn't think I was going to be. Her nails scratch against the plastic gown I'm wearing. "I'm pissed at you," she tells me in a quiet voice. I snort, and that, too, hurts. "When aren't you?" I shoot back. "I'm serious," she says. "I thought, if you ever do something like that again, Dean, I'll kill you myself." "Kill a dead man?" I chuckle. "I don't know if even you can do that." "Don't," she snaps. "Don't make light of this." My eyes open and I look down, meeting her gaze. "Baby." "You almost died," she says. "You can't fucking shove yourself into someone's life and then just give up like that. You can't ever do that to me." "I didn't plan to go in there and get shot," I argue. "You also didn't think twice about putting yourself between me and a fucking bullet." She bares her teeth at me. "You didn't fucking think." My hold on her loosens. "You're saying I didn't fucking think?" I growl. "I did. All I could do was think. Think about what was happening to you, whether you were dead or alive, and what I could do to get you back. You're all I fucking think about, Avalon. You're all I fucking want." "Then why did you almost fuck everything up?" she yells. I blink, overwhelming shock hitting me like a bullet train to the head, when a single tear slips over her cheek. She doesn't even give me an opportunity to reach up and wipe it away, to feel if it's real or not with my own thumb. Instead, she quickly swipes her hand over her cheek, erasing its existence as if it had never been there in the first place. "Baby." "No, don't fucking baby me," she snaps. "I want an answer, Dean. What made you think what you did was okay?" "Are you seriously mad at me for protecting you?" I demand. "Yes, I am." "Too fucking bad," I curse, grabbing her arm when she moves to slide off the bed. "No," I snap. "You started this. Don't you fucking run away. I will always put you first, Avalon. Before myself, before my best friends, before any fucking one else. If you're gone, I can't live. If you die, so do I." She turns around, her hand snapping out. The crinkle of plastic reaches my ears as she leans into my face. "The same damn thing is true for me." Each word shoots out of her mouth like her lips are triggers and she's over the edge. "I almost died, too," she admits. "And I'll be honest, if I woke up and you weren't here, I would have closed my eyes and just given up. I am tired of being lost and betrayed and hurt and abandoned. If you want me, stay with me. If you love me like you say you do, don't you ever fucking do that to me again." My lips part, but no words emerge. "Do you understand?" she asks, shaking me slightly. I wince, but her eyes never leave my face as she waits for a response. Like this, how the fuck can I deny her? I release a sigh, reaching out and touching her hands where they clench in the front of my hospital gown. "I understand," I whisper, as I move one hand up her arm. She doesn't pull away from my gentle touch. In fact, she leans closer. When I palm the back of her skull, her eyes close, and I drift forward. My mouth finds hers once more. I kiss her for a long time, longer than before. until the pain comes back and then leaves again, until I hear the hitch in her breath and wetness against my cheeks that isn't my own. I keep my eyes closed as I kiss her, twisting my tongue along hers, biting her lower lip, and dragging it back into my mouth to suck on it. I love you, baby, I whisper against her lips, tasting the salt from her tears. It's like nirvana on my tongue.
50. Avalon. Brax and Abel come back and both look relieved when they see Dean's awake. I stay quiet, exhaustion pulling at my nerves as the three of them shoot the shit and talk about what their plans are for when we get out of here. My hands find Dean's chest. Even beneath the shitty plastic fabric, I can feel where the bullet entered his chest and tore him apart, nearly ripping him from this world. It's going to scar, but it's kind of funny, because I have a similar, albeit much smaller, scar in almost the same area. The bullet had passed through him and hit me. Overall, though, he'd taken the worst damage. My main issue had been the concussion. I'd had several, apparently. I'm so lost in thought that I don't even notice when Brax and Abel head out of the room. It's only when Dean captures my hand and lifts it to his lips, pressing a kiss to the back of my knuckles, that I realize they're gone. "Where'd the guys go?" I ask. Dean snickers. "They went to see how your friend is doing and to grab me some sweats," he replies, shifting beneath the covers. "I can't fucking wait to get out of this damn itchy mess." "You're gonna need help getting dressed," I warn him. I did. His eyes narrow on me. "Those fuckers better not have—" "Calm your tits, D-man," I say, rolling my eyes as I tug my hand back and return it to his chest. "Riley and a nurse helped me." He huffs out a breath as he settles back against the mattress. "Good," he mutters. Our heads turn as the door to the room opens once more and a tall figure fills the entryway. Dean sits up. "Dad?" Nicholas Carter approaches the bed, eyeing the collection of machines alongside us. He releases a slow breath. "I won't stay for long," he tells us, his eyes scanning the rest of the room, from the windows to the machines once more. "I'm preparing for the funerals, but I needed to stop by to see how the two of you were doing." "We survived," Dean manages to say. How a man can seem so powerful and commanding even when lying down, I'll never know, but he pulls it off quite well. I reach behind me and press the button that'll help him sit up anyway. His lips tighten with pain, but he doesn't stop me. Nicholas nods. "I've been told that you'll have some physical therapy for the next several weeks." I watch him curiously. He keeps his hands in the pockets of his jacket. Again, it seems odd given the time of year, but maybe it's just something about rich people. His voice is gruff, and he can't seem to meet Dean's eyes or mine. Finally, when he does look up, he catches my gaze, and I refuse to look away. He inhales a slow, shuddering breath. "I am—" he begins, appearing unsure how to get out what he's trying to say. Nicholas shakes his head and stands straighter. "I am truly sorry to the both of you," he finally confesses. "I thought it was safer for you not to know, especially knowing that you would tell the boys. If they had known—" "They would have been prepared," I cut him off, frowning, "for what they had to do." Nicholas stiffens. Dean's hand touches my arm. "Ava." I shake my head. No, he knows that he fucked up. He should have told us from the beginning. Had he done that, we wouldn't have been in this position. We wouldn't be laying here. You wouldn't have gotten shot. You wouldn't have nearly died. "I know you're upset," Nicholas starts. "Upset?" I snap. "That's an understatement. I'm fucking pissed. You're supposed to be an adult. You look at the two of us like we're fucking children. And shit, maybe other people our age act like it. Fuck knows it's not normal for an 18-year-old and a 21-year-old to be able to figure the world out, but the two of us aren't normal fucking people. The both of us had to fight and bleed our way to where we are. The least you could have done was give us a modicum of fucking respect and told us the truth from the beginning. Instead, all we got were almosts and half-truths." Silence descends for a moment, and Dean turns his head towards his father, waiting. Nicholas stares straight back at me. "You're right," he finally admits. "I didn't consider seeing either of you as allies. I treated the two of you as children, and that was my mistake. It was my fault that things ended the way they did. I truly thought that Elric and Lionel wouldn't make a move so soon." "Well, you were wrong. Avalon, that's enough." Dean cuts me off by placing a palm over my mouth, and though a part of me wants to rip it down and continue, he isn't looking at me. His attention is solely on his father. "I appreciate you admitting your mistake," Dean says. "You understand, though, that it changes nothing." He inhales. "I let my anger get the best of me whenever you're around because the truth is, a part of me hates you." My lips part beneath his palm, shock ricocheting through me. It's not like what he says is truly all that shocking, but the fact that he's saying it aloud is. "I hate the things you've done, the lies, the secrets, but at least now I understand how much of who you are revolves around East Point. The only thing that you can do to make up for everything is fucking change it." Dean's voice deepens. "Change that stupid contract between the East Point families. With Elric and Lionel gone, Brax and Abel are the next heads. They'll sign off on it. But no more. No more arranged marriages. No more fucking trials. It's over." "I think that's for the best," Nicholas agrees. "I've already got my legal team drawing up the paperwork. As for Braxton and Abel, I think it would be best if they would only be figureheads for now, at least until they finish schooling." "That's up to them," Dean says. "You'll have to take that up with them." Nicholas nods, taking a step back from the bed. "I'll do that then." He turns to go, but just before he steps out the door, he looks back, his lips tightening. "Oh, and Avalon, you should know your father's businesses are under my control for now. If you ever decide you'd like to take over, let me know. I've run them for quite some time, but they were Chaz's, and by right, they're yours too. I'll respect whatever decision you make. Also, the money he left for you is being redeposited in a bank account for you. Someone will be by the house after you two are out of the hospital with the details." I frown, but don't say anything. I don't need his damn money, but then again, it was never really his to begin with, was it? Nicholas's attention refocuses on Dean. "I'm truly glad you're all right, son," he says, and then he's gone, and the door slides shut silently behind him. Dean drops his hand away from my mouth, and his head collapses back against the pillows. After a long moment of silence, I nudge him. "Are you okay?" I ask. He doesn't answer me. Instead, Dean pulls me down to his side and snuggles closer. I note, though, when he winces, and adjust myself when I feel like there's too much pressure on his wounds. We lay like that for a long time. The silence, though, isn't uncomfortable. I stare at the window across from the bed, watching as the sun begins to set and the light pouring in through the vertical blinds grows dimmer and dimmer until we're shrouded in darkness once more. There's something about dusk, about the dark gray, murky light in the room, that makes it feel more intimate. "You know," Dean finally says, "for as bad as this whole situation has been, at least it's done one good thing." I frown, trying to think back, but nothing comes to mind. "Are you dumb?" I ask. "What good thing came from this?" He chuckles and shakes his head. "Always with the insults," he murmurs, cupping the back of my skull, his fingers playing lightly against the strands of my hair. If he notices the unkempt and unwashed mess of it, he doesn't seem to give a shit. "You finally admitted you love me." I freeze. That's what he meant. Tingles start at the tips of my fingers and work their way up my limbs as I consider that. Yeah, it had taken a whole shitload of gunfire and blood and near death for me to admit that. Out loud, at least. I suck in a breath, but Dean starts talking before I can speak. "I wouldn't have been surprised, you know," he says quietly, "if you never said it." "What?" Through the darkness, I blink at him. "I'm not a good person, Avalon. he continues. His hand flexes against the back of my head, tugging, not as gently as before as he forces my face to tilt upward, towards him. I've never been good, and I never will be. I like that you've killed, he admits. I liked watching you exact your vengeance, and I had no fucking problem hurting and killing whoever it took to get to you. I didn't think twice about it. I didn't have to. People like me, I guess, are born dark. If there ever was any light in me to start off with, it's gone. Eradicated. Burned away. I'm bad, baby, and I like it that way. I don't see a problem with how possessive I get over you. If another man so much as fucking hints that he desires you, it makes me want to cut his tongue out and shove it up his ass. I can picture that, actually, but there's something wrong with his words. The way he says them. His tone of voice. It almost sounds like he's resigned to what he is, rather than proud of it as he should be. Light? What is light? I ask. Is it good? No. I shake my head. I didn't give you any light or good. Good is easy to love. I'm not. We're taught to value what's good from a young age, just as we're taught to fear the darkness. I take a breath, feeling the cold air infiltrate my lungs, permeating my body, sliding into every bone and crevice, every scar and pore. I don't fear the darkness, I say, especially not yours. I move so that my breasts brush against his chest. I lift my hand and let my fingers trail down his throat until I find the hollow of his collarbone. I crave it, I confess. I want all of the darkness you've never shown anyone else, Dean Carter. He catches my wrist and moves it down and away. I look up, meeting that dark, intense gaze of his. You don't ask for much, do you? He doesn't crack a smile, and neither do I. Just everything. I ask for as much as I'm willing to give in return, I say. And are you willing? He asks, dipping his head until the warmth of his words slides over my cold lips. To give me everything? And in that dark room, with our hearts pounding against our rib cages, I finally utter the truth I'd been so desperate to deny. I hadn't wanted to admit it. Not to him, but certainly not to myself. I already have. His head lifts and his eyes meet mine. That's your answer? Yes, I say. Dean's breath catches in his throat, and for a moment I think he's going to break. But that's not like Dean. Dean isn't someone who breaks. He can cry, he can yell and throw shit. That's just him showing his emotions. Crying doesn't mean someone's broken. So when his eyes begin to fill with tears and he leans down to bury his face against my neck, my reaction is simple. I lift my arms and hug him to me. My lips twitch as I hold him and let him hold me. Are you going to actually ask the question now? I prompt. He snorts. God, baby, you're going to be the death of me, he mutters. That's not exactly the kind of proposal I expected, I deadpan. Dean laughs, the sound heavy and warm, and it lights up something inside of me. When he leans back, his face covered in the tracks of his tears and his smile so fucking gorgeous it hurts my soul, I think I finally get it. If Patricia ever felt even a fraction of what I feel for Dean for my father, then I guess I can understand why she made the choices that led her to her death. I don't regret killing her. I'll never regret dealing out my own brand of justice, even if it's not exactly what society says is right. Too many people fall through the cracks of the system. Money and power make people do crazy things, just like love. Avalon Manning, Dean begins. Will you stop fucking torturing me and marry me? I snort. No can do on the torture, I say, pushing up on my knees as I cup his face between my hands. I pause right before his lips and smile. I plan on doing that for the rest of our lives, but the marriage bit, well, I guess I can do that. Before he can comment, I press forward and kiss him like it's the last thing I'll ever do. If I'm lucky, in another 50 years or so, it will be. Until then, The rest of the world can go fuck itself. Epilogue. Riley. 6 weeks later. My phone goes off, the sound so quiet in the darkness of my new dorm room that I almost don't hear it. But as I sit there, so focused on siphoning through the layers and layers of information before me, something crawls into my consciousness. A warning. My hands pause over the keyboard in front of me. Avalon isn't really the type to ask for favors, so I know this is important. Unfortunately, even with the skill I have, I'm not a miracle worker. I can't just make someone with no last name and no past magically appear out of thin air. All I have to go on is a first name, a relative age, and where she lived. Whoever this Mickey girl is, someone has spent quite a lot of time and energy to turn her into a ghost. By all means, she doesn't exist. There's no record of anyone named Mickey living in Plexton, Georgia in the last several years, nor in the surrounding areas. At least, no female of her age by that name. I lean back in my chair and groan as my spine bends and aches from too many hours sitting at this desk. Not for the first time, I think about putting the money I'm making from the sick boys to use and buying myself a nice ergonomic computer chair, complete with all the bells and whistles. Back support would be a fucking treat right about now. Maybe even a vibrating cushion that would massage my lower spine and keep me from feeling like an 80-year-old woman in a 19-year-old's body. I'm practically drooling at the very thought. But no, all of the money I've made is secured safely in an offshore bank account. No one and nothing will be taking it away from me. I've got plans for it. With a yawn, I get up from the cheap, old-fashioned desk chair provided for each dorm room in the new building I've been relegated to since the Havers fire. Wofford Hall is nicer than Havers ever was. I even have my own bathroom. But the noise level is much louder. I wince as a feminine shriek from the hallway filters in through the crack beneath my door. While Havers had been program and scholarship students only, which meant stricter regulations, more studying, and less partying, Wofford is full of all of the people I didn't care to be around. The rich kids, and even worse, a few of my clients. I grab my phone as I head for the bed. The second my ass hits the mattress, I crawl beneath the covers and flip the phone over, opening the screen. I scan the messages from my clients. Jake and a few others. Even Luke Kincaid himself has a job for me. I type out a few messages, accept a few offers, and give a general turnaround time for the easier-sounding ones. As long as they don't interfere with trying to track down this Mickey chick, I'll be okay. Once I'm done scanning through those, I finally find the last message, the one that interrupted me. Only it's not a message at all. It's an email from Grover, Massachusetts Correctional Facility. The parole hearing results are in. The screen in front of me goes blurry as I read the verdict. My heart nearly stops in my chest, old fear encasing me. Sweat drips down my spine. Ice slides beneath my skin. Daniel Dickerson is out. My stomach drops out from beneath me and an old panic that I thought I'd managed to gain control of rears its ugly head. I can't breathe. It's as if all of the oxygen in the room has vanished and I'm left in a wasteland of empty nothingness. My thoughts begin to collide. A small child's scream in the back of my mind takes over. I have to run. I have to hide. I have to make sure he can't find me. I have to make sure that evil, wicked boy, now 13 years later a man, never finds me. Unlike some people who have to wait weeks to get the information on whether an inmate is being released or not, I had set an alarm to go off as soon as this information uploaded to the national database. I have time, I know, but it already feels like it's too short. I know what he'll do the second those doors open. The second he's really and truly out, I know. He'll want nothing more than to take his revenge on the girl who got him locked up in the first place. This concludes Natural Born Killers by Lucy Smoke. Narrated by Elizabeth Russell and J.F. Harding. Copyright 2021 by Lucy Smoke. This unabridged audiobook is published by arrangement with Lucy Smoke, care of Hirschman Rights Management LLC, and was produced in the year 2021 by Tantor Media Incorporated, a division of Recorded Books, which holds the copyright thereto. Please visit tantor.com for more information on our growing library of unabridged audiobooks.